All right, well, this has had a chance to dry, and the finish on the surface is actually not all that bad. It's not as bad as I thought. There's still at the bottom, if you can see there, a little bit of a smudge. So I do want to try and just do a little bit better job on this. So I'm still going to go ahead and sand it down and hit it with a fresh coat of paint, fresh coat of clear coat. Now it's a beautiful day outside, so I should be able to let it dry. My goal is to, once it dries, go ahead and get it in the car today. Oh, look at that, I can peel that right off. That's what I'm gonna do then. That's actually a little easier. All right, so that was peeling off with my hands okay. So I'm gonna try a razor scraper, see if I can't get a little more of this off. Oh, there we've got down through the veneer to the raw metal. Actually, if I can get that all the way around, I won't even paint this thing. That looks nice right there. I mean, look at that. This little razor scraper has turned out to be such a valuable tool. Oh, look at that go now. Of course, I need to unbend this a little bit and flatten it under here. So that went way better than expected. I was able to peel off the way too many layers of paint I'd put on here, but the veneer itself came off. So that's great. This thing has got just little bits and pieces of adhesive and I don't know, some kind of glue on it. And so what I'm gonna do is hit it with the Goo Gone, try and clean it up just a bit more, and then see if I can't get it nice and flat too. I've got lots of little bends. You can see it's kind of battered and bruised from me working on it, maybe a little too rough. So I'm gonna see if I can't get it flat, glued up, put it in the car. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what the raw metal looks like. Okay, so after seeing this in the car, it does look a lot better. It looks nice, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and paint it white. I just thought it looked a little nicer when it was white, even though it was a crappy paint job. So I'm gonna give it a better paint job this time, prime it, paint it, seal it. And if I totally hate it later on, I'll put a little bit of aircraft stripper on there and get the paint to release itself in the metal. We'll go back to this point. By that point, the metal may be so beat up that I might have to order a new one of these, which I'm trying not to do. But let's go ahead and paint it white. I'm trying to keep this as light as I can, just dusting it so we don't end up with any pooling or any of those nasty artifacts we had last time. So I think that's plenty. So what I'm gonna do is set this in the sun so it'll dry up just a little quicker. I'm gonna give it maybe 10 minutes or so, and we'll come back, hit it with paint, do the same, hit it with the clear coat. Regular old paint time. Gloss clear coat. Laying that on rather thick because I do want a nice shiny coat on this. Alright, I'm going to leave that to dry for a good little while here. So while we're waiting on this shifter insert to dry, I'm going to take a look at this radio console. It's just got this plate that doesn't really fit. Obviously it's aftermarket, but it really doesn't fit the line of the car. So I was tugging on this and it was actually starting to move a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can't pull that out. Just get a look, and if nothing else, I'll go ahead and try to give it a fresh coat of black or something, make it look just a little better. It's kind of beat up right now. What I did figure out was I was actually able to pull this part up. I've got the car sitting in neutral right now so that the shifter is vertical, but this part is actually looking like I might be able to take it at least partially out, and that could make cleaning this up and doing something neat with it just that much easier. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get this ball off or in some other way access this and get it out of the car. This actually appears like it's gonna screw right off of there and allow me to take that ball off and in turn take off that entire assembly that I was, oh, that's on a spring, okay. So this is threaded. It's got a spring underneath it. I'm gonna set those both in my cup holder so I don't lose them with my other replacement screws. And then ball will rotate too. Awesome. Well, the hope would be I could replace that altogether if I wanted to with something a little more interesting looking. There's our ball. And this whole assembly, unless it's got wires or something tied underneath it, my guess is I should be able to pull this out. Let's see. Look at that. So the only wires I see are going to that cigarette lighter, and I'm okay disconnecting those, so I don't plan to use that whatsoever. Looks like there was some other feed down here. I'm not sure what that was for. Oh, probably there's a little light bulb there, actually. Meant to light up this indicator right here by my thumb where all the gears are noted. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this car back in park so I don't forget to, and see if I can't get this pulled out. I wish I had known I could pull that out before. It would have made my life easier. So this little piece here, maybe that's just tape. This looks like it may just come off. Now what I don't want to do is allow those to touch in a way that puts the car at risk of catching fire. This little bulb looks like it's meant to fit right into there, and that's where it would illuminate those letters. I mean, as far as this cigarette lighter goes, I don't really care if it works. I plan to probably rip this out anyway, this little section here. So I don't know what I want to modify about this. I mean, ultimately it'd be nice to have this entire insert open for modification other than this little area where I've got my shift indicator. So I don't know what I want to do with this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in there for now, and we'll see. So what I may do while I've got this up and out is just give it a little good thorough cleaning and then put everything back together. I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew this little metal piece that was on the bottom of the cigarette lighter. So I want to go ahead and just cancel out any chance of that circuit getting completed. So I'm not going to use it on purpose, so I certainly don't want it happening on accident. The only other thing keeping this connected then is this black wire. I think it's been clamped into place, so what I may do is actually snip that, cover them both just to keep it from being able to start a fire. So I'll cut that right there. This old wire looks like it was taped, maybe some heat shrink. That actually looks fine. I don't see any exposed wire there. The other thing I did see though was this gray wire had some exposed at the end, and so just to limit my chances, I'm gonna go ahead and clip it at an angle as well. I just feel a little better having that gray one cut, the black one cut as well. Now I couldn't find any electrical tape. I'm gonna actually cut this square because I don't want a bigger cross section visible. So just like maybe there. That'll work. I would rather do this electrical tape, but it is a little bit of insulation, so that is a little win, and that also means this thing is now free from the car. I'm gonna pull this out, clean it up a little bit, and then fairly soon that shifter insert should be dry and ready to throw some adhesive on, put it in the car. One other thing that's neat, so this cavity is meant to hold this little light bulb, and you can't connect them, these wires right now are too short, until I get it over the shifter, but once it's over the shifter, that actually snaps, it clips right into there. I don't know if that bulb works. I can actually start the car right now, or at least start the battery and pull the lights on. So we got our battery on. If I turn the lights on, I wonder if this one will. It does, it works. How about that? So that'll be illuminated next time. That's awesome. Let me shut this off so I don't drain it. Okay, so with this center insert totally out and in my hand, here's my thoughts. As I look close at it, obviously we're looking, the black part is meant to be hidden by that cover, but as I'm looking at this, a lot of the edges are in kind of rough shape too, where it was silver before. I want to touch them up. I don't have that silver paint, but I do have some gold paint. What I thought I might do is obviously tape up this logo down here, tape up these central parts where the paint I don't want to get, but I think I might go ahead and tape those sections up and actually hit this with a little gold paint. Just have those little accents be metallic, or I can make them black. I may do flat black. I think that might look a little nicer, but either way, plan now is to get this taped and prepped to take some paint as well.